Hello guys, S2W here as your average consumer with your next casual consumer's perspective review. After the last 2 hectic months of re-releases and Nike's Air Max celebrations, which also marked the successful debut of the new Air Max 270 silhouette, it was inevitable that Nike has planned for an upgrade with a more breathable and lightweight option for this sneaker. Only after a month of its debut, Nike did not stop and have pushed out the knit iteration of these 270s already. Today, I have the Nike Air Max 270 Flyknit in the Oreo colorway here for a review. If you haven't seen the Air Max 270 yet, I made a review of those when it came out, so make sure to check that out if you haven't yet. But to quickly highlight the main point, it's Nike's newest silhouette in the Air Max lineup that features the highest heel air unit on any Air Max model. The previous iteration is made up of a mesh upper though, which by all means is not bad at all, but knit tends to be the more favorable and superior option when it comes to a more fitted yet relaxed comfort. But is this Flyknit model better than the original mesh silhouette? Let's take a closer look at these sneakers. While Nike is still releasing many new colorways of the mesh iteration, the debut with the Flyknit upper is only limited to a few colorways as of this video's upload date, with this black and white Oreo color blocking being one of the first to get released. By the looks of it, it's your typical woven black base upper starting from the heel area. Then it abruptly transitions into a mixture of black and white interlocking weave from the mid to forefoot section, almost looking like TV static. The front also features one giant bold Nike swoosh to stamp its branding on the shoe, which when compared to the mesh iteration, the swoosh on that is separated into smaller ones instead. In terms of visuals, the lateral and medial side of the shoe do not look the same as each other. The medial side has the black and white weave transition much deeper at the forefront rather than at the midpoint, so if we actually look at this from top view, we'll see a diagonal slashing design. At this medial midfoot surface, we will also see the word Air adhered on to show off its model name, whereas on the right foot, the number 270 is seen to finish off the signature. We all know Flyknit is breathable, extra lightweight and flexible by touch, but on this model, the fabric is quite stretchable as well. Not the stretchiest I've ever felt, but it's already more stretchy than the Flyknit uppers found on racers and trainers. I find the darker parts of this shoe offer more elasticity too, so the midfoot and ankle area will feel more like a sock fitting sensation around our feet. And to enhance the resemblance, this Flyknit iteration also comes with a sock hugging collar as well for an easy slip-on fit. Taking a look at the top of the sneakers, these shoes came laced up with what seems to be fly wire suspending off the sides of the shoe like bridge cabling, so when we tighten up the black rope laces of these sneakers, the sides will tighten up from bottom to top for a secured lockdown fit. Now because the upper is done with a one-piece construction, the tongue is embedded as the same layer as the rest of the upper with a leather overlay at the tip of the tongue. This leather patch is embossed with the Air 270 logo as well for additional branding. Then at the heel portion, more leather overlay is seen sitting above the midsole. The lateral side of this leather donned a 270 branding, while at the back of the shoe sports a large Air branding as well. The leather quality is decent I would say to offer a more premium finish, but don't expect it to be phenomenal. Inside the shoes, the sneakers come with quote-unquote removable insoles that's quite thick by touch. The insole is glued to the footbed, so essentially it could be ripped out, but you would minimize the amount of padded comfort offered to us by doing that. In addition, the inner lining does not offer any sort of padding at all, unlike the mesh version where it was actually padded by the Achilles. It's literally just plain knit textile around our feet to provide that soft, lightweight comfort. Again, just like wearing a sock. The inside here is only reinforced with a suede internal heel guard to increase durability, while the heel tab found on the mesh version is also entirely scrapped on this model too, now seen with a small rising fold instead. Finally, moving to the midsole and outsole of the shoes, the design scheme is absolutely the same thing as the original version. Nothing much has changed in terms of the tech and looks at all, featuring a molded dual density foam for a smooth transition from heel to forefoot, and a newly engineered and tallest Air Max heel bubble for maximum impact absorption. To make the shoes pop even more, they've made the foam white while the heel unit black to create an eye-catching contrast. Under the shoes, we have a harder reinforced rubber to give structure and durability for the bottom surface. We will see one last Air Max branding at the heel area with additional waffle treads around the edges of the outsole to increase traction. Anyways, here are some Nike Air Max 270 Flyknit Oreo fit footage. Sizing wise, I would recommend going a half size down from the original Air Max 270 mesh version if you have a pair of those. For me, I went true to size on that version, so I was able to fit in a half size down instead on this Flyknit model. It's because the Flyknit fabric has a much thinner property than mesh, and especially when the inner lining is not padded as well, the internal spacing is just a lot roomier than before. Comfort wise, I have to admit that this version is definitely an upgrade from mesh. It just fits a lot more liberating on feet when all you feel is just a thin fabric around your feet. The one-piece upper just molds at the most perfect shape, almost as if my feet became one with the shoes. The only downside in my opinion is that the mesh version just looks a little sleeker and aesthetically pleasing for me. Maybe because a lot of the external elements were stripped off, such as the overlays and layerings, but that's the consequence in order to make the sneaker extra lightweight, breathable, and comfortable on this model, which honestly might not be that much of a bad turnout. Cushioning wise, it feels just like the regular mesh version, but if you haven't tried a pair of those, the majority of the bouncy comfort will of course be felt on the air heel unit, so depending on your stride, that might work to your advantage with some of the most responsive rebound you'll ever feel. The foam up front is not as responsive, but it's just soft enough that the thick foam insole inside will balance out nicely with padded comfort. In truth, these are more comfort friendly right out of the box than the Vapor Max, as the uneven sole and the tougher forefront air units on those will take some time to get used to. But take note though, your heel will definitely sit a little taller off the ground on this model because of the tall air unit. It's not your typical mushy cushioning that has taken the likes of many people recently, but it's definitely one that will offer a little better rebound than your harder foam outsoles. Price wise, these were $230 Canadian before tax, $30 more than a regular mesh version. There's not a lot of colorways available right now, so I will wait a little longer for more options, but in my opinion, if you want more of that ventilated and sock hugging feel, then these Flyknits are definitely an upgrade from the mesh iteration. If you want a more structurally intact feel, then the cheaper mesh model might be your better option. As always, throw me some likes if you like this video and let me know in the comments if you prefer the mesh or these Flyknit versions instead. In my opinion, they're both solid shoes. Both cushionings are the same, but I prefer the Flyknits a little more as the upper comfort just elevates the fit better for me. That's it for today. S2W signing off.